So, Max, it brought to a list of content that there is going to be something on December. There's going to be some additions to the service and a lot of departures. Oh boy, that's not good to hear there with Max. If I gotta be honest, streaming services, they're claimed to be the future of television. Well, they're actually not, because it has its nature. Any show or movie can get removed at any time, anywhere, even when they are originals. That happens on streaming services. And also, I prefer linear TV than streaming services, because with streaming services, it's more than one, but when you bundle them together, it ends up to be more expensive than cable. And also, linear TV has DVR. Streaming doesn't have that yet. So that's another plus for linear TV and another letdown for streaming. Yeah, streaming just isn't my thing there. The only ones that I do like are the free ones, like Tubi, Pluto TV, and the Roku channel, to name a few. At least there are second chances for those that unfortunately got cancelled and get picked up for its planned second season, like with Star Trek Prodigy, but it is still not a good idea to just remove your originals like that. Especially when it comes to Max. I mean, that August 2022 purge, yeah, that was a bad idea for what Zaslav did. Because, he thinks it's nice to save money to purge content and doing write-offs, but yeah, that ended up to be a disaster. Anyway, let's go check out what Max has in store for its December slate. So, joining Max is 9. I like 9. It's a great animated film that is given a PG-13 rating in a post-apocalyptic world with these ragdolls. It is a movie that can be depending on your view, whether you like it or not like it. Overall, I like this. Anyway, there's also Scooby-Doo and Crypto 2. So, Scooby-Doo and Crypto 2 was cancelled and written off until it got leaked in the internet, and then it got plans to be released in DVD in September. I guess this means that Scooby-Doo and Crypto 2 is gonna have its first access on public streaming with Max. That's good news for that. But, alas, there is something else to talk about there. It is nice to see Scooby-Doo and Crypto 2 get more good treatment there. But this might as well need to be discussed. So, leaving Max, I'll go for the Adult Swim content first. There is a pretty big selection of these, including Frisky Dingo and China, Illinois, of all shows. Come on. I mean, I can see them ending up on Tubi. Tubi has had access with Adult Swim shows before. They can easily pick these up as well. And now let's go for the let's go for movies and shows that are not Adult Swim related, leaving the service. So first, Long Live the Royals. Oh. This is the only Cartoon Network show that is leaving Max. I remember this show. This was Cartoon Network's other miniseries, and it wasn't memorable compared to Over the Garden Wall. It only aired twice on the network, and I can see why its license, they decided to make sure that, well, I guess it's leaving due to its licensing. And the show itself I mean, it can easily be seen on piracy, but this show honestly felt like a fever dream. And this was a more modern Cartoon Network original. It is not known compared to those like Adventure Time, regular shows, Steven Universe, or even shows like Clarence. This show is pretty forgotten, and I remember when Cartoon Network promoted it many times, and I guess didn't catch on. Others include 1996 Batman, the Ant Bully, known for the flopping of DNA Productions, Arthur Christmas, Daphne and Velma. Oh yeah, that movie existed. This was supposed to be a sequel to or spin-off movie of Scooby-Doo and the Mystery Begins, I think. That live-action Scooby-Doo movie that suddenly got a lot of viewership. Yeah, that was crazy. DC Superhero Girls Hero of the Year. DC Superhero Girls Intergalactic Games. I like to keep in mind this was before the 2019 series. And DC Superhero Girls Legend of Atlantis. Dennis the Menace 1993. Dennis the Menace Christmas. Happy Feet. Happy Feet 2. Jack Frost. Jumanji. Even Lego specials aren't safe, including the Lego Movie, which was made by Warner Animation Group. Now, this has been done before. This was even done before Zaslav was in office. I remember when Max, like the Iron Giant, was leaving Max. I mean, as HBO Max. And I guess this was, and I said, I guess this is normal for streaming services, even with those that are owned by the company. That is how it works in its nature. So chances are it can be accessed on another service. And then there's Lego DC Superhero Girls Brain Drain, Lego DC Superhero Girls Cosmic Villain High, Lego Justice League Cosmic Clash, Lego Justice League Gotham City. And then Looney Tunes back in action. Wow. Oh my goodness. Days after its 20th anniversary, it's leaving. But there is something else. Originally, Looney Tunes, the original shorts of the Looney Tunes, was going to leave Max. However, luckily, that turned out to be an error. Looney Tunes is not leaving Max after all. The streamer released a list that included the classic cartoons leaving the platform in December. However, Max has since revised their What's New on Max this December press release. So that's good news that Looney Tunes is staying, but it's a shame that the removed shorts, they might not return to the service unless they renew the license to them. The Looney Tunes show was also intended to be removed, but just like the Looney Tunes shorts, it's also not leaving Max, so that's good news for that too. And then there's Scooby-Doo 2002, Scooby-Doo and the Sword and the Scoob. Straight out of nowhere, Scooby-Doo meets Courage the Cowardly Dog. Oh boy. This special is great, but as always, piracy exists. And also, there's of course the DVD home media release of that movie. So all hope is not lost there. Another series that is leaving Max is Beware the Batman, which I'm actually surprised that they picked up this show in the first place. Beware the Batman was a tax write-off. It was written off from Warner Media. In fact, Toonami did a marathon of Beware the Batman to air all of its remaining episodes that were unaired on the block because it was getting written off. It is very surprising that they even got Beware the Batman in the first place, because I thought it would never be publicly accessed ever. Maybe they nullified it, maybe they didn't, who knows, but it would also be quite surprising if it keeps going, like Amazon Prime Video does have the rights to have access on WB animated content. It may be possible that it might be on Amazon Prime Video in the future. And then there's Teen Titans Go and DC Superhero Girls Mayhem in the Multiverse, which felt more like a DC Superhero Girls film with just Teen Titans Go sprinkled in some scenes. Wow. They really are getting rid of all of DC Superhero Girls. Even the crossover is leaving Max, as the show unfortunately got written off. That is a bit of a shame there. And finally, there is the Tom and Jerry movie, the 90s one where Tom and Jerry both talked. Tom and Jerry and Nutcracker Tale, and Tom and Jerry Sandy's Little Helpers. Yeah, that list doesn't seem to be the best there, but most notably, I honestly don't like where everyone just blames Zaslav over everything because of leaving, because, oh, Zaslav hates animation. Well, Zaslav is more into reality TV, and yeah, it is a shame that all these shows unfortunately got canceled and written off and purged, though I blame the AT&T merger for this because they were the reason why Warner Bros. Discovery existed. Warner Bros. Discovery existed because Discovery didn't just come here and say, oh, I just want to buy Warner Bros. It was because of AT&T. They decided to think about the merger. It was not going so well. So they decided to ask with Discovery and say, oh, here's Warner Bros. If you need it. And then it took them some time. And then afterwards, the merger got approved and it ended up to be a disaster. But there is a way. I mean, it's easily how streaming works. Every single show, movie, even those are owned by the company, they can get removed anywhere. And they can be accessed on another service. It happened to so many streaming services. And no, Zaslav did not start that whole purging thing. It has been done before. Cartoon Network did write-offs before too. They did it with Megas XLR. They did it with IGPX until it was nullified. They did it with Symbiotic Titan. They did it with so many of those shows. So, Zaslav didn't start the write-offs. But for what they're doing is just, it's a bad idea to purge off originals. The August 2022 purge, yeah, that was a terrible thing. I really did not like that. Especially with those Max originals like Closing Up, The Fungies, and Tig and Seek. And they were barely given any warning. That Cartoon Network was not impressed about it. That they were trying to tell that they were leaving, but it was going so quickly to just say they were leaving this week, which just, that timing alone, wow, that was not good timing for what Zaslav did, just because he thinks that the purging all these shows would save some money. Well, it actually didn't. I hate David Zaslav. This is the person who caused the Discovery downfall. This was the person who ruined Discovery and turned TLC into basically the loser channel, turning from educational content to a lot of reality television. Even though they did it before, Zaslav surged it and made it on what it is today. Just nothing but reality TV. But I honestly wouldn't blame him over shows leaving that, yes, they're owned by the company, but it's due to licensing issues. However, not renewing Looney Tunes and Flintstones? Yeah, that's not a good idea at all. That was a bad idea to not renew those licenses. Overall, I can see Max just being probably a generic streaming service. Max, or HBO Max, used to be a special surplus with Warner Brothers content. And it really was special until Zaslav stepped in and kind of ruined it. But with stuff that can be accessed to, it can be accessed to Amazon. It can be accessed to Tubi. It can be accessed to Netflix. There are so many possibilities for these types of series and movies that has that nature for streaming. Even on originals. And of course, there is also that planned WB Fast service where we haven't really had any updates of as of right now. Maybe next year there might be updates to the upcoming WB Fast service, if possible, if they want to compete to stuff like Roku and Pluto TV, to be exact. It's a shame how Max is doing to this. There are so many departures arriving on December 31st, and probably it might change its identity. So, Max, with some originals sprinkled in, this might as well be how Max might be like. Just a pretty generic streaming service, but with some originals within that service. And yet, this was supposed to be a merger with HBO Max and Discovery Plus. It just ended up to be a new name of HBO Max. So guys, what are your thoughts on this? Do you think it's quite excessive to see how Max is gonna have so much content leaving the service, even though that is how streaming works? That is how streaming works on how it is done. It is done with our services before, and likely gonna keep going in the future. Anyway, guys, this is Kawaii Life Antonio, signing off. Peace.